Hey, boys and girls, weather report for April 15th.
Look who popped up.
Who popped up? It's Jefferson.
Jefferson's joined us.
Hello.
I guess it works when you send an email. So
you have to send a lot of them, though.
yeah, we had to send a lot of them before somebody was actually dumb enough to come onto this stream.
Yeah, Jefferson.
Well,
what, did you just wake up?
I could just head back, I guess. I could just get out of here.
Anyway.
No, nice to see you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks
I've been missing. Huh?
I was gonna say, nice to see you. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, I've been missing for a few days. But
I was telling Speed that it's always good when you and or Jay show up because y'all are good conversationalists.
Yeah,
thanks. Not everyone feels the same way, Scott. There's a few people like Praise and Smokey, and well, Smokey's not really having great conversations with anybody these days. So.
Hey, may I make an observation, Jefferson, now that you're here and I'm thinking of it?
Sure.
That time you did kind of a replay of a conversation you had with Jay Robin.
Yeah.
And he kept pulling the, you're embarrassing yourself. You're making a fool, that kind of shit that he talks. Do you recognize that as gaslighting?
I mean, it might be in that territory. I mean, it's definitely obnoxious.
No, I think it's definitely in that it is that territory to me. I think that is just a typical strategy used by narcissists to make the other person in a conversation feel foolish or feel embarrassed. That's what he's wanting them to feel is embarrassed. And what you do is you suggest to them, you're so stupid, you don't even know to be embarrassed.
Well,
and I thought that's just a gaslighting strategy. It's not a part of any argument.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, like, now that you mention it, I wonder that if for them it's just like if you're the first one to deploy that tactic, you automatically win. Because, like, I mean, really, if you think about it, it's like it's sort of an appeal to the audience, right? Like, I don't think you realize just how bad this is coming across.
Yeah.
But it's like, look, one, we're online, so unless each of us are like yelling at each other or somebody's really, really just demonstrably losing it, making an appeal to be like, well, do you realize how bad you look, or how, like, everybody kind of looks bad and sounds bad in a lot of these conversations,
Yeah.
I mean, they're always kind of awkward, but then it's, yeah, you're right. I mean, the idea is like, well, if I make this observation first, it just seems like kind of a Hail Mary pass, because imagine if you were doing that in person, you'd really have to have a good feeling for the room to be able to be like, okay, pal, do you realize just how cringy you look in front of everybody here? Like, I mean, to do that online really takes a lot of grapes, and I think they do it too often, they do it too early, and they do it with the wrong groups. So, yeah.
It's just it's a gaslighting strategy, and
but I think there's lots of different things like that I mean, there's a lot of elements of like emotional and verbal manipulation that those guys all do.
It is,
yeah.
Because this is not a discussion. It's not perceived by them as a discussion among equals or among people of good faith or good intent. To them, you're an enemy, you're vile, and you need to be silenced.
And I used to actually get responses like that from church folk when I was a kid. If I asked a question that was kind of, well, I thought it was a difficult question, but it turns out I was too young to realize that it was kind of an offensive thing to ask, right? Like it was kind of pushing some buttons.
Yeah.
But I'd ask it, and then if I pressed, because the answer they gave me was just kind of, to kind of move things along, then it could turn into that. If they started getting a little irritated, they'd be like, well, Either, I don't, that's not a very good look. We don't, it's it was the variation on it, right? It's inappropriate of you to even ask that kind of question. It's rude
Yeah,
and
we
it's
don't.
unseemly kind of thing. So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think you realize how dumb you look as sort of the jock bro version of that. But I got the more the more slightly more polite, but just as manipulative. Like,
hmm
well, we don't ask questions like that in polite society, kind of thing. Like, okay, why not? Like, you didn't give me an answer, and now you've actually just posed an issue that is raising a lot more questions for me. So what's that
that's
about?
right. And
Yeah,
it never was about truth.
yeah, nope. It was
Yeah.
about like,
So you can get away with that if you're a 6 foot adult and you're talking to a 4 foot high kid.
hmm
But I
yeah.
don't think you get away with that in person too often.
Well, it's weird how that dynamic changes too, because if you try pulling that on somebody, your own size or larger, the reaction isn't like, oh, well, to kind of look down, look crestfallen and defeated, like, oh, I was hoping this
Right.
person had an answer. It's like you're gonna probably like catch a bunch of swear words back, go fuck yourself. Who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah. Well, but among adults, it's the reaction is a little more subtle. There'll be talking campaigns behind your back or something.
Yeah.
You won't get invited to certain things, and that's what adults are afraid of when you're a kid. They don't want to think that your family isn't squared away or whatever. So let's not let the little kid ask embarrassing questions.
Maybe there's something wrong with me because usually when I get that reaction where do you realize how embarrassing you're coming across? Like, I guess I just don't have enough shame, internalized shame, to care. Because one,
Yeah.
I don't believe them, and then at the same time, like, really, is it bothering you though? Is what I want to know. How
No, no,
how bothered are
no.
you, and how can I make that even more uncomfortable for you?
Yeah, well, it's good news that it doesn't bother you. That shows that you have developed whatever psychological framework that you need. That means that you're maybe a little more healthy and
The
mature
word
than
you're
other
looking,
people might be.
Scott, the word you're looking for is scales. Scales, sir.
You've got some scales there, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah.
well-scaled
I
reptile.
think
Because I was raised by
the only time a
reptiles.
person does the only time a person does that is when they truly do not understand where you're coming from. They don't understand the concepts that you're working with or that you put forth, and they only understand their position, and they're trying to see your words through their filter. And
Yeah.
so it's like a mirror. It automatically projects back on them when they say that. I mean, anytime somebody comes up with this, these bullshit insults, it just automatically just hits them right back in the face, except
Yeah.
that it's not always perceived that way.
I was going to say, yeah, the first person to say, do you realize how embarrassing this is for you, is probably the first person to really be concerned about embarrassing themselves, right? Because as soon as you say that, everybody's like, ooh, speaking of bad looks, that's one right there. Don't do that
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Incredible.
But anyway, I just when I saw him doing that, I recognized that as a strategy of Darth Dawkins too, and I thought, well, if Darth is a narcissist, which he obviously seems like a narcissist, then that's just one of the strategies that narcissists use. And so I just wondered if you actually did question yourself, or if it made you doubt yourself when somebody said that to you.
No, I've been around a few people like that in my life that have done that for real. So having somebody who is faceless
Yeah.
try to pull something that transparently, and to me that just comes across as a little bit of impotent rage. They just have, if you have to resort to that, you've got, I mean, maybe he's a narcissist, but he definitely has some kind of like antisocial problem, or some coping. Just he's just not great. Not it's like a total lack of charisma. If you're just gonna. Oh, I wanted to point, like, and it's obviously not concern, right? Like, he's relishing the fact that, like, oh, you're really making yourself look like an idiot here. Yeah, I mean, the easiest way around that is just to let him know, yeah, I really hope that I'm making you uncomfortable. And I'm glad that you pointed it out. Continue to give me status updates about how you feel, because your feelings are very important to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, see, now that we know he's being a narcissist or whatever, we need to figure out some strategy to make him feel so ashamed of himself and so embarrassed that he, like, you can hear him piddle his pants. You know?
I kind of want to do the opposite. I want to make him feel as comfortable as possible, so comfortable that he admits to being like a Nazi or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, they just
see,
he
you always
gives away
take the high road, Jefferson. That's why I respect you so much.
It's not the high road if I'm hoping that he's going to indict himself, Scott.
Well, yeah. But that's a classier way to do it.
Maybe, yeah. But if it doesn't yield any results, yeah, I just look like a punching bag. And everybody's like, why are you being so charitable to this guy? I'm like, well, I was hoping he was going to admit to murdering his parents or something. I don't know.
Well, Jay, what are you doing to embarrass yourself lately?
I'm alive, Scott.
What? I was going to say, what isn't he doing?
I'm alive.
Yeah.
And don't go silencing me for background noise. That's Jefferson with the background noise.
Yeah, I know.
Rattling around in the kitchen.
I thought
not
you
me.
were putting your dishes away, and it turns out I think it's probably Scott that's putting his dishes away.
No, it's Jeff.
No, it's me. Sorry.
I so rarely put dishes away.
Anyway, so
fucking don't.
Speaking of embarrassing yourself,
Accuse me of
who
doing
the hell
housework.
is this Dr. Kenny Rhodes? And he
for fuck's sake.
He was doubling down on how we should have the right, to have sex with 13-year-olds. I just popped into a stream and he was defending it because God did it. Basically, God raped Mary when she was 13, apparently. Some people, but he was doubling down on this. Oh, what is the definition of a woman? A woman can have children. It's like, just because you can knock up a 12 or 13-year-old doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, we found out that 13-year-olds getting pregnant is very, very risky for the life of the 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, due to rape of a 13-year-old. But anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, who the hell is he anyway? And
he's my new. I'm thinking of making him my new special project.
Oh, should.
He's the new Smoky Saint, or rebuke and reprove or whatever.
No,
used to be Jill.
No, I don't know. There's a couple of videos that I'm gonna go over just because the way he talks. Just there's a video. There's a short that he did of him. It's just a picture of him. He actually took a picture of himself, a selfie in the mirror, the bathroom mirror of himself. I'm like, what are you, a college? What are you, in college or something?
Yeah.
Is that for your Tinder account? Either way, maybe Grindr. Either way, it was just he says he looks purty and that he's getting on the smoke. He's getting back on the road with the smokester, and I'm just like,
and then go to another trial.
They're heading back.
Probably a meeting with the defense lawyer.
Yeah. Well, no, I think now they're headed back to California. They're coming back from Virginia.
Aren't they? Yeah. Aren't they? I thought they were back already. I thought they'd been back. Maybe not.
Maybe they. Well, because that short wasn't done too long ago. It was done earlier today or earlier today.
Okay, hold on for a second. I want y'all to see something here by way of investigation.
But anyway, I still
don't you recognize. Is that him?
That one in the middle, yeah.
Okay.
Upper middle.
Okay.
Well, apparently he's like one of these little items says he went to some place like Schofield Seminary, which means he is just a blazing fundamentalist, dispensational, literal, probably King James only kind of guy.
No, I don't think he's King James onlyist.
Okay. Well, still, just crazy. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let me go.
There's a couple of videos, because one of the videos that I found interesting was one where he's got this lilt to his voice, which I find it's kind of like a creep show.
Is it the Southern preacher lilt?
Yeah, kind of, but kind of effeminate at the same time. So he's sitting there and he's talking about how the girl, he's like, y'all gonna find out, y'all. there's going to be a change. There's going to be an age change, and that the girl wasn't 13. She was 16, and you're all going to made to look stupid. And I'm like, if it's not Smokey Saint, what the fuck difference does it make if the girl was 13 or 16? Right. If it's not him, then it's not him. The details of whether she was 16 or 13 do not matter to a person who did not commit the crime.
But on the other hand, the person herself said that she was 13, and so do the court documents. So
yes, they do.
Don't know.
Oh no, there's actually, according to Rob Reed, at least I think it was Rob Reed or somebody else that was on a live chat. Apparently, there have been people claiming that Thick Shades hacked the North Carolina database, sex offender database, to change the photos.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Well, they call us skeptics.
I think they're. It almost seems like they're panicking a little bit.
I don't even know the way sometimes I hear Kenny talk about it. It's as though he's basically saying it's like one can infer that, yep, Smokey did it. It's none of your business. There's some details that you just don't know. Leave it the fuck alone. Right. But then when you hear other people talk about it who are defending Smokey, and even Smokey himself, they're just saying, no, that's not, I can't believe these people still think that's me. And Thick Shades is doctoring photos. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? These guys can't keep their story straight for nothing. No.
Yeah, like I say, they're panicking and they're just, pulling out every little thing they can. And then Kenny Rhodes at the end of the day is saying, well, it's okay anyway, because she was a woman.
Yeah, because she had her period. She's good.
Yeah. So it's all good. It's all good.
Well, that's when things are getting really good and desperate, because it's like, well, first of all, he didn't do this. Second of all, she wasn't 13, she was 16, which is like, how the hell do you know that if he was not involved? Right. If he did do it, there was nothing wrong with it because Mary and those who are without sin cast the first stone. And who are you to judge? Jesus is coming back with a rod of iron to punish you sinners. Shut the fuck up, get wrecked, atheist. Like, okay. So he did it, is what you're saying. That's what I'm getting from
what I'm getting.
That's not the defense of an innocent person.
Yeah.
But think about this, guys. According to her, she was 13 and she flew. He was 21. They met online, apparently, and he flew from California to North Carolina, which is not a short trip, to get that.
Doesn't that make it No, that would make it federal, would it?
No, it's just weird, desperate,
I think you have to take the minor across state lines for the purpose.
That makes it something for like Dateline NBC or something. Didn't they have to catch a predator or something?
That is, but that's normally like in an area, like a local area. Imagine if they want to catch this guy. Wait, the guy wants to fly cross country? Oh my God, this guy's perfect.
Yeah.
He's flying in.
Yeah, that's when Stone Fellow's like, "Oh, you definitely better have a seat right over here." Tells one of the producers, "Yeah, get his return ticket. This one's a gold mine." All right.
Yeah.
You flew cross country. Okay. What's wrong with the town that you're in?
Yeah, there's a lot of towns in California. Anyway, there's a lot of population there.
I'm sure you can find something to entertain yourself with. I'm sure you can. I mean, I think where he lives too, he's not that far from Las Vegas.
Probably even closer to the what do they call it?
He's close to a lot. He's
the ranch or whatever they call it.
No. The ranch is further north. That's up near Carson City.
Isn't
the town, what I know about geography?
Doesn't the town have the name Desert in it or something?
Desert Springs. Yeah, it's in the high desert. It's east of LA. Okay,
now it's interesting, but there is a real estate person who has that very same name in that town. So,
yeah, they found that out. There's also Jeff. Didn't you find out some licensing information?
Yeah. So.
This is all the hot gossip, guys. We're getting in on all what the cool kids are talking about.
Spilling the tea. Yeah, I mean, it had come up before, and I can't remember like how Smokey kind of talked around it, or like it was, because a lot of this stuff will come up, and people are like, well, didn't you make your money doing like real estate and stuff? And he's like, they have video or they have a recording of him talking about how much money he's made and what a successful business person he is. And I've been doing real estate in the California area for years, and then it's like, okay, when this comes out, people are like, well, what do you know? This guy with this name and this image is actually a licensed realtor and has been for about 8 years. I looked him up because I was kind of curious about it with the information that was posted in North Carolina. Because one of the things I thought that in California, like if he's a California resident and he's been convicted of this crime in North Carolina, he has to report this to California. But California is not quite like I can't tell. Like he's a California resident. I don't know how he has to go about reporting it. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to show up on a list. Like they have exclusions for people. Certain people don't get reported. But the one thing that usually happens if you're a registered professional in almost any state, different states have different rules, but oftentimes they'll have like a moral clause, or kind of like a good character clause. Real estate is usually kind of big on that because there's different. Well, I can think of a handful of states that have them. So if he's convicted of a felony, he has to disclose that. Well, when you look up that name in, for all those, California licensed real estate agents in California, the salespersons, that's a public list. You can look up the information, and that individual with that name let his license lapse just in February.
Oh, interesting.
And normally it's just easier, even if you're not active as a realtor, you'd want to keep that up because it's easier than having to try to, depending on the state you're in, trying to get it back or redo. Some states will make you start from scratch.
Yeah, it's how it is for security guard cards out here in California. It's better to just keep it going for the $30 renewal because if you let it lapse, it'll cost you like $120, $150 to start all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my thinking is like you would let it lapse if you knew you had to report.
Right.
So that's kind of
the plot thickens.
Yeah, because if he had to do that and he thought like, okay, well, if I have to do that, then I'm going to just lose it anyway, because they can. Usually states that have licensing, they have state boards, and if you fail to live up to whatever is in their ethics clause, like getting, I mean, this used to happen. It happens here in my state, lots of other states. If you get somebody has convictions for drunk driving or something like that, or gets caught with possession of a controlled substance or something, if that gets disclosed to the state, the board has a meeting and they spike the license, and that's it. So
we'll have to stay tuned. I can't believe that this is the same person that dared to call me speed a pedo pudding about 1.5 years ago. It's
probably a little projection.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, he was. I mean, wasn't there some people around his that were hanging on his channel saying, "Why did they make the girls look sexy?" And then Nicholas goes, Who think at any time does anyone think an 11-year-old looks sexy?
Yeah, exactly.
Who said that?
That was revelatory.
I think there was somebody on his. It was. I can't remember if it was Nicholas Whitmire or if it was just
Nicholas.
Somebody in the live chat
of his live
chat said, "Why did they have to make him look so sexy?" And Nicholas thought that was hilarious. He goes, "At what point did you ever think an 11-year-old looks sexy?"
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
He was the same one that admitted that he struggled with his
the flesh.
While attempting to.
Oh yeah,
the movie.
That's right.
That's like,
I still like the Ark encounter. The fact that the Ark encounter, like you got the photo, right? You got the infamous photo, Smokey Saint, Kenny Rhodes. I think that's Smokey Saint's lawyer right there. The woman this is probably, in no way threatened by having those two men around her in any way, shape, or form, possibly. Like she is definitely not their type. Sorry, low blow. But the people were talking about, this is him at the Ark encounter. And when you look at that whole photo, you see them, it's because some of the clips that you see, the photo zoomed in. But if you look at the photo, the way the photo was originally taken, you can see an LED display hung up on the wall. Just, has anyone ever zoomed that in to look at what's on the screen? Because I swear, from just what I've seen of it, it looks like there's a county, like a state seal on the screen.
Oh, nice.
Because I think that's like a list of upcoming, like their docket,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what's going on in each courtroom. That's what's on that screen.
Wow.
It's a courtroom directory, and yet they were trying to say this was Kenny at the Ark Encounter. I'm like, just zoom in on the screen.
Actually, that makes sense because if during the pandemic, in some court cases, you would just go, if you were scheduled for a particular hearing in a room, you would just go in and file in the back with your attorney, or and if anybody was in front of you, if this is like relatively small claims or sentencing or something like that, you would just be in that same courtroom, right? But if they're trying to minimize the number of people in rooms because that's a pandemic move, the easiest way to do that is just to have monitors where people are kind of logged in. And they can be like, yeah, this room's still in session, so until it's done, you need to stay out,
Yeah.
I know some of the stuff. Yeah, I'm a civil servant, and we started putting stuff into place like that before the pandemic hit, and it came in handy afterward. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that's what they were doing.
So I got something here that came up this morning. Professor Dave explains, and this will tie in. Believe me, guys. Professor Dave Explains is starting a new series where he's going to go through every talking head PhD on Discovery Institute and kind of do an expose of them. And the first one is Casey Luskin. And at the end of it, he has a little clip here. I've linked it in my description, and I think everybody should go watch this. And the series is absolutely amazing. I mean, he tore Casey Luskin to pieces. And he threw in a few jabs at James Tour on the way. So James Tour is going to be sputtering for the next 6 months.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of sputtering going on.
Yeah. James Tour will probably do a 25-part series on just the 2 minutes that Professor Dave talks about it. But anyway, it was pretty cool. So let's see if I can run this. But I think I got everything set up. Yep. There it is. Anyway, I thought he had some interesting things to say at the end of this. So,
if you think this religious assault on science is no big deal, you really are missing the bigger picture. It represents a concerted effort to drag the world, and America in particular, back toward the theocracies of Europe that existed until the end of the 18th century. A reunification of church and state and reestablishment of a central totalitarian authority, with the ability to persecute non-believers, which really just means any subversive individual. This is not just the plot of The Handmaid's Tale. This has happened in the real world recently in places like Iran and Afghanistan. As a result of American imperialist foreign policy, Iran went from a social democracy to a theocracy. Such a thing could happen anywhere. It can be a bit difficult to apply the appropriate perspective in this modern era, where most of us can say absolutely anything with no legal ramifications and live our lives as we please. This was not the case for most of human history. Humans had long been subjected to extreme brutality by those in power, which was usually a unified religious and political institution. Christianity in particular has been a violent religion since it was acquired by the Romans in the 4th century. It was imposed with blood onto people throughout Europe during the Inquisition, and again by Europeans in their colonization of Latin America. This is obviously not to say that all Christians are violent or support violence, but the coupling of religious institutions with political ones can turn any religion, even one that preaches peace and love, into a murdering machine. And by suggesting that religion be taught in public schools, the DI is trying to swing that door wide open. Our long fight to remove religion from the centers of power and relegate it to the privacy of the home is one of the greatest achievements of human civilization. To lose this is to lose our freedom. This freedom was not given to the masses willingly. It was only attained through violent uprisings. Anyone who tries to pull us back to those times must be fought tooth and nail. We may not have to cut off the heads of monarchs as we once did. The situation is not yet so dire. But if we allow religion to become science, we will have lost the first major battle. And from there, it could be an avalanche. Countries like Iran serve to demonstrate that things can indeed go backwards. and also that any religion can be a tool to impose or restore a central authority. Anyway, that's the DI in a nutshell. In every video of theirs, they parade the same half dozen or so scientists that have deluded themselves into propagating this trash, which is based on either misquoting, mischaracterizing, or flat out misunderstanding real science. While there is undoubtedly a high degree of intellectual dishonesty in their claims, likely justified in their minds by the thought of crusading for God, in listening to figures like Luskin and Tor, I have concluded that there is also a large amount of willful ignorance, hubris, and narcissism as well. This manifests itself in the delusion that they are able to tackle any area of science despite having no experience in it, and reject the conclusions of the field if inconvenient to their ideology, only to then display confusion when the scientific community does not take them seriously. Protecting their egos from the realization that they are making exclusively erroneous ideological arguments, they cry censorship and end up producing garbage content that is relegated to blog posts and YouTube, which are obviously inadequate for publishing science. They flash journal articles and pretend to tell you about them, while instead blatantly misrepresenting them. They use misleading language, and they pay their team of editors to produce flashy content so as to make it all look and sound more legitimate than it is. A well-polished turd, one must admit, but a turd nonetheless. And what do we do with turds? We flush them.
Now that was great, wasn't it?
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think he picked the fight.
yeah, he's a bruiser. He's a bruiser.
Oh my God. Yeah, that bears repeating. So
I think I'm going to put the link out and see if we can encourage Jason to join us.
oh yeah. Well, I could send Jason a
Yeah, go ahead and send him a link if that's what you want to do.
I've got some pseudoscience for you, Speed.
yeah.
You want to
Danny.
hear some?
Oh, what? Go ahead.
Here we go. This is from a few days ago, several days ago. This is from Kylo Ken's, and he makes some interesting claims about his physiology that I think for people who enjoy science would find entertaining. I did.
Are you sharing a screen?
It's in the side chat.
No, I put it in the side chat for you to share.
Oh,
That way
Or
there's
the
no
private chat, yeah.
private chat. Yeah,
Okay.
that way it's easier for you to do. And we don't have any
Yeah.
audio fuck ups.
Yeah. Okay. So where do you want me to play it at?
Oh, start it right from the beginning. The
Uh,
juicy,
let's-
the comical stuff is like right at the start.
Hang on a second. YouTube. Okay.
And something like I said, I was telling Matt Bond in the live chat. I said he's like a cartoon come to life. I mean, the guy is just hearing his voice is like one of the creepiest things. I think he could scare Pennywise.
Oh, really? Hey, which Skarsgård played the clown?
Brian,
Okay.
Bill, I thought.
the youngest, I think. I think
Okay.
he's the youngest of the
I don't
boys.
think it's not Brian, is it?
Bill.
Bill Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård. Yep.
Yeah, they could start their own village in Norway or wherever.
Yeah, Colbert did a little joke on them as being a national asset or something.
There's what, 3 of them?
There's 5, I think.
4. I think there's 4.
Yeah, there's 4 of them. Because Gustav was in Vikings. He's kind of that weird-looking guy, but he's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah, he did. I like that character. He played somebody named Floki, I think.
Floki, yeah.
Yeah, he
Okay.
his character was really cool.
Roll it.
Roll
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
beautiful bean footage.
I think I'm rolling.
I ain't hearing.
What the heck?
You can tell I grew up in Arkansas just by me saying that.
I ain't hearing.
I ain't hearing
I
anything.
ain't hearing.
I ain't hearing nothing. Nothing.
No, maybe skip through. Just kind of go ahead a little bit and see if there's. It's working before.
What?
And here I thought you wouldn't have.
One time.
There it
Okay.
is.
So
See, so whatever it may be for knowing the truth
I don't know where he starts
I-
talking, but
for perspective,
Now let's
Right
go
when I
back here. Okay, he
There
gets
you
his
go.
shit together right here, I think.
Jeff,
So-
mute your mic.
What's that?
I was telling Jeff to mute his mic.
Oh, okay. Well, come on. I'm waiting.
I didn't think there was this much dead air at the beginning. There we go.
Okay, here we go.
All right, you all. I would like to address a few things. And right when I was leaving the stream,
Yeah.
I want to point out that Arenik said that doctrine is not important. That right there is a very interesting thing. Now, Olive and Sparrow, I know you ladies are passionate about what you're doing now. But the sad thing is you all have involved Arenik, who is an open theist. Open theism
Now-
Could you
believes
pause that for
God
just a
is
second?
like
Sure,
us.
sure.
I hate to interrupt with this, but Jay, I figured out who he reminds me of. He sounds like Brad Dourif. Find some clips of Brad Dourif as the scientist from Alien Resurrection. You know, the beautiful butterfly.
Oh,
He sounds like him. There's something about the way he's talking.
a beautiful, beautiful.
Don't do it yourself. It's creepy. Don't do it.
I've seen.
Good God. Good God. No, don't.
I have two copies. I have a Blu-ray anthology of the Aliens movies and a 4K one. So I've seen those movies quite a bit.
Let's see. Oh, you have multiple copies of that movie?
Yeah, I have the. I think
so
I
you're
have
the one. So you're the one. 20th Century Fox and well Disney now they know about you. You're the only one that has multiple copies of that.
Okay, ready to roll?
Okay. Yeah.
You
See,
don't
I
know.
think. Oh, just to give some context here, real quick. I think what's going on is because this was. So this was from April 9th. So Sparrow and Finch. That's out. There's Olive. That's Praise's sister, and this other woman that goes by Sparrow. Anyway, what I'm thinking is that they are in the. Jeff, he sounds like Andy Dick.
That too. Yeah. That's a good one.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think what they're doing is they're basically kind of they're throwing out some shit because obviously they've they've sided with Praise. Praise is on the outs with Smokey. So I think that's what they're doing is they're in Kenny's live chat, just kind of starting some shit. How dare you support Smokey? He's a horrible, horrible person, and blah blah blah. Anyway.
Okay. So open theism, what is that exactly?
Open theism is basically where somebody, in a nutshell, they hold to God being able to have like middle knowledge, that God kind of grows in his knowledge. Like truth is actually objective and God still kind of holds to what is true. And God can only do things that are logically possible.
Okay.
No, I don't. I think because I think you can hold on to those things and not be an open theist, especially the middle knowledge thing. Open theist.
That's Molinist. That's Molinism.
But
The middle knowledge thing is Molinism.
My understanding, the reason that open theism usually comes under such scrutiny and harsh criticism from a lot of, especially fundamentalists, is that open theists believe that that God changes. Like he can. I think he can learn new things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is open theism related to process theology?
Possibly. I'm not sure if there is a difference. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look those up because I know
Yeah,
process
I'll look it
theology
up. I was just wondering if you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off the top of my
Don't
head
a
right
lot
now.
of, but Jeff, don't a lot of open theists kind of hold to Molinism, God having that middle knowledge, to kind of help reconcile some things there.
Well, yeah, but I mean, because it's like open theism, I think they tend to be. I mean, I think that's just like a gimme, right? Like, I mean, they definitely do, but I think they also think that like, because I've heard of some people who I think identify as open theists that have gone on to say like when God became man in the form of Jesus, he learned what it was like to be human. Like,
Oh, okay.
now I don't know if that's like something that's like something that open theists like just accept across the board if you're in that particular camp. But I've heard people who identify as open theists make statements like that, and that's something that if you're a fundamentalist, that's really gonna raise some eyebrows. They're gonna be like, no, that's not right because God knows everything. It can't be that that he learned anything new. He created everybody. So
Yeah.
well, that would explain why God isn't bored yet, right?
yeah. God, open theism. God knows all determined truths, so future events that have an indeterminate truth
And
value
truth
may not
value
be
may not
knowable
be
at a
knowable.
particular time. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've only- I only know two on YouTube. Bob or Gotha is what he went by. I haven't seen him around in a while. And Irenic. Irenic is an open theist.
so Bob is too. Hey, interesting.
Yeah, Bob or Gotha. Yeah.
Well, you know, if God granted us free will, then that would make sense that he does not know what we're going to do with that free will, right? That it would be indeterminate, that he couldn't determine what we were going to do.
Yeah, I think that's the position that a lot of them
Yeah.
use to kind of defend that too.
So
And it's not bad.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, they clash. That whole thing that kind of clashes with like with Calvinism, because like if you get in with the old school Calvinists that are like, you know, determinism becomes more of like a logical necessity based on the qualities they assign God. Yeah, that's where the tension really hits. But yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's roll this thing for a minute. See
Yeah.
what you're-
As he changes, is called panentheism or dipolar or bipolar theism.
What?
That's
process
really
theology.
feel grieved because
Should I speed him up?
this idea that Irenic says that it's about being nice and loving and not about truth. See, doctrine's about truth. Doctrine is about defining who Jesus actually is. So let me give you all a little bit of insight here. So Jesus said, "Who do men say that I am?" And so the identity
have
of
had this
Jesus
sped up.
Christ is absolutely essential for knowing the true gospel. Now, I don't know if Irenic is an unsaved man or not, but I can tell you this: his faith is shipwrecked. So his ability to discern anything, because he actually denies scriptural statements about the nature of God. Irenic is a very, very shipwrecked man in reference to his faith. So let me deal with that. If anybody doubts what I'm saying, this is neo-theism, and my teacher, Dr. Norm Geisler, was very clear about the dangers of open theism. He has been dealing with this kind of stuff for quite a while. Of course, Norm is with the Lord. And so
he's no longer dealing with it.
ladies, really, really,
Really.
this is maybe an example of why Scripture, and I know this is going to sound horrible, people, does not allow for senior pastors to be women, because Paul said that it was Eve that was deceived. You see, Adam wasn't deceived. He knew what he was doing, but Eve was actually deceived. And that's actually a part of the...
Stop for a second. Can you pause for a second?
If you want,
he talking about?
In Genesis, it's literally written in Genesis that Adam tells God, "Don't look at me." It's basically the way to paraphrase it. "Don't look at me. That bitch you made for me gave me that fucking fruit."
Yeah. It's a great paraphrase. I wish I had My Living Bible had phrased it your way there, Jay.
Yeah. The gospel according to Mr. J.
And because of that, basically all women are like Eve in that they will deceive, and that's why they can't be. Is that what he's saying?
They're easily deceived. So yeah, because the men are more. Oh, he keeps going. He keeps going.
Okay.
He keeps going.
Let's go.
Jeff, you got your sync running with your mic on.
the fact that Eve would try to usurp the authority of Adam, which is why the scripture says your desire will be for your husband, but he will rule over you. Now, that just means the husband has the final say. It doesn't mean that he lords over the woman, but the final say, because it was Eve who was deceived. So whatever it may be, women are predisposed, maybe it's the emotion, to be deceived intellectually.
Fucking fuck. What the fuck?
Keep going. Keep going. Wait till he gets to his finely tuned 50-50 brain. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay.
Because they think
He's talking about himself like he's a hot
I don't
rod.
blame them whatsoever. But ladies, as a man who had zero testosterone for about 10 years,
That one?
And
Pause.
because of neuroplasticity, my brain is very much in tune
Pause.
with the lack of distortion of testosterone. And now God has actually given me the wonderful benefit
He
of
lived-
having a 50-50
He lived for
right.
10 years with zero testosterone.
How did he did that with neuroplasticity?
And his zero having okay, what he's leading to is he's leading to the fact that because he lived for 10 years with zero testosterone, and because of his, I think he's in kind of like saying that because he's got really good neuroplasticity, he has learned to experience what it is to be woman. Go ahead.
Oh
Go
my
ahead. Keep going.
God.
Keep going.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
he can understand their feelings. Yeah, go ahead.
It's the best.
Left brain that is fully matured as a 50-year-old man. And I can understand both sides. I can understand the thinking of the male
Right there.
and understand the thinking of the female. Because for years, once again, my brain had zero testosterone that would lean it toward any particular way. Like estrogen will lead you more toward the emotion. Testosterone will lead you more toward the logic and the warrior type mentality. So I thank the Lord.
I'm going to swallow my fucking tongue.
The warrior spirit and testosterone. If he ever read any of Sapolsky's book, just the one chapter kind of gives you a nice little interesting glimpse into what testosterone contributes to and what estrogen contributes to when it comes to certain behavior. It's funny, and it's not heightened aggression. Testosterone can contribute to aggression, but it seems to only be when aggression's there.
So you can shut your testosterone off with neuroplasticity, and then
I don't think he's saying. I think he's saying because he has both. So because he was able to take that. This is how I'm perceiving this. Because he experienced zero testosterone in his body for 10 years, and because of his neuroplasticity and his his fully mature brain, he was able to really experience what it is to feel like a woman feels.
And now he remembers, so he can understand. Yeah. Okay. So how did he shut his fucking testosterone off? Did he get his nuts cut off?
You'll hear.
Okay.
Did anyone else though? Did the Shania Twain song kick in for anybody else just now after Jay said that?
I feel like a woman.
Yeah, feeling like a woman. Yeah, sorry.
Now I'm gonna have that stupid song stuck in my fucking head.
I don't hang out in that neighborhood, so I don't know what a Shania Twain is. But
I didn't know
you
the
don't
reference.
Know.
So.
You didn't know. You guys don't know who Shania? Wow. Okay.
I know she's a country singer, but I don't listen to country music
from Canada.
Except for the old-timey stuff.
I don't either, but in the '90s it was inescapable.
Yeah,
and you can't be a country music star and be from Canada.
Tell that to her.
Sorry, that's my 1970s bias going on.
Is she the one that got eaten by coyotes up in Canada? I don't know.
Did she?
Somebody got eaten by coyotes, a country singer in Canada.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to look
Really
that
happened.
one up.
Yeah, fucking coyotes.
Really.
Really. Okay, rolling.
Yeah. For the great gift that he gave me, even though pharmaceuticals almost killed me physically. I thank God for having neuroplastic opportunities to use that. Of course, I didn't know, but in hindsight, I actually did use the situation that I found myself in a very good way. I've even taken some.
Okay, so was a sex offender, and they gave him drugs.
You went there, didn't? See, Jeff. See, I didn't even have to take him there.
I know.
I didn't even have to take him there. I didn't even have to do it.
I
went there.
I don't know that that's a thing. That's all I said. I didn't say it was wrong. I just said I'm not sure if that's a thing.
No, it is a thing. They actually did that, I think, to some sex offenders. They gave them drugs of some sort to try to shut it off.
Depo Provera was one of them.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's.
So it's like a reversible. It's like chemical castration, but it's reversible as long as you stop the flow of the script.
So you see, this fucker is making the creationists that I deal with look good. Jesus.
Oh, but that's the thing. He's an old Earth creationist.
I just picture this guy bellied up to a bar somewhere, trying to use this as a pickup line on some women, or maybe some 13-year-old girls if it's the same kid.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
That's
13-year-olds.
been because the state forced me to take chemicals that would suppress my gonads. I really understand what it's like to be a woman now. Slap.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Roland.
Test. My left-right brain is absolutely equal, strangely equal. So that's why my intuition and my prophetic gift has been very honed and established by the Lord as of late. So, ladies, I want you to know I love you, but you are not
And
discerned.
he's got liquid cooling, and he's got an overclocking.
It's
He's got
finally
the-
tuned
he's got-
50-50.
He's got the latest UFI BIOS. He's good. He's good.
So, like, whatever comes before Sesame Street is where this guy got his neuroscience from.
We're kidding. Hey,
You guys notice
Johnny
that
Johnny Mnemonic called. He wants to know where you got your upgrades from.
there's something very weird about this, right? Because he's actually saying that God enhanced his gift for prophecy through medical science.
Yeah.
That's a weird claim.
Well,
Have you seen him?
I'm still stuck on why he was given the drugs to reduce his testosterone.
well, I think he has stumbled
Prostate?
upon religious delusions here.
Well, we don't know that the drugs were necessarily given to, or prescribed to him, or a drug was prescribed to him in order to, with the intention of lowering his testosterone. Maybe he might be implying that he was taking some kind of pharmaceuticals that was an adverse side effect of taking those particular drugs.
Yeah, well,
I
if
don't
you
know.
have, I think some types of prostate cancer they actually treat with something to lower your testosterone. So I don't know, maybe you got that. So I don't know.
Maybe.
Or sex offender. I'm going with that.
See, and I didn't have to do it, Jeff.
I knew you would. I didn't say you would have to. I knew it would come unprompted. Not even specifically with this group, with anybody. Everybody's going to be wondering, like, why the hell was this guy without testosterone for 10? Oh no.
We're such evil human beings. Anyway,
Okay. Roland.
You might discern the heart of the Lord here. And I know it too. My heart aches for everybody because there's a lot of misinformation out there.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
You think?
But his
Because
heart
I
aches.
empathize
I
with
guess
the heart of a mother and a sister.
his heart
I
aches, but his
see
balls
what
didn't
you
feel a
guys
thing,
trying-
right? No, sorry.
But because
Sorry.
I also have that masculine brain that tends more toward the scientific, rational side, I can see the truth as well. And I'm just going to gently correct here. I love you all. I know Smokey has said some horrible things to people, but you know what?
Yeah.
I don't do videos against him.
because we're married.
And I'm sorry for those that have been hurt,
Spousal privilege.
but there is a
Well, I mean, that kind of ties in with the, maybe it was because he was a sex offender, because that's why he wouldn't do videos against. I don't know. I just think it ties in. I don't know.
bigger
That's
principle here, folks. And you all are being used by the enemy in ways you have no idea.
The enemy. Who the fuck's the enemy?
Standing, you know.
The enemy.
Actually, yeah, if you
And you
that
should
right
know-
there, if like what Scott was bringing up about the kind of gaslighting right there, that's a unique form of Christian gaslighting where it's like, look, okay, I know you have problems with this with Christian X over here, right? Who's got some problematic behavior and said and done some things that we're all critical of, but be very careful about how you cast stones and how you make accusations because you could be being used by Satan.
Yeah.
It's like, to do what? To get this guy to be even worse of a Christian? What the fuck? Like what? How is this going to get anywhere? Like, well, we got to make sure that we don't lose this talent for God. Like, this guy's a talent? Like, you're afraid? Like, this guy is? He's the top choice? Like, I really think that Kenny's afraid that, like, if Smokey gets too much abuse and too much criticism, he's just... I heard in one of the other videos, Smokey was like, well, I love God, but I hate these Christians. These Christians are worse than atheists. I've had it with Christians. I'm done with Christians. Like, did you even spend any time in a congregation? Like you're just one of these like fucking coyote Christians online, just running around, mouthing off weird apologetics.
Coyote Christians, eh?
Yeah.
It's
Coyotes
a new
might
one.
actually they might actually have a better family structure than some of these guys do, so that's not accurate.
Not so much.
Hey, I wanna point something out. Can I share my page or share my screen real quick?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Let me share this real quick.
Yep.
Is it an image of Brad Dourif?
No.
In any
Stop it.
Damn it. I really want to emphasize that for people.
No, knock it off.
Or maybe not, though, because he's great in Deadwood, and I don't want to ruin that show for people.
Coyotes suck, Brainbug. Coyotes suck.
Okay, I got my screen. I got my screen shared. You want to throw it up there real quick?
Oh.
So I did a Google search for Dr. Kenny Rhodes. And you know how he's part of Reasons to Believe, right? Or reasons.org, that Reasons to Believe
yes.
website. So here it is. Now watch what happens when I pull it up. 404, we weren't able to find that page.
Why?
Has somebody been disavowed?
And then
Or
when
did he
you
go
to
over
the-
to Discovery?
But in the team, here's the scholars. He's not listed. The board of directors. He's not listed. So I know he's been on some of their videos and stuff, but yeah, for some reason there was a link there that led to something that had to do with him, and now it's gone. So
This is what happens when you can keep it too real.
Yeah.
You're a Christian. That's them getting canceled.
Now, to kind of briefly go over to the subject of coyotes, I agree with Brainbug. They are awesome, and they're also an interesting study in the way things adapt and survive, because I think the more stress their population goes under, the more babies they start, or puppies or whatever they are, they start having. And it's just a really interesting dynamic there. And I'm not sure how many other species respond that way, that when their population gets stressed, they make more babies so that they have a better chance of surviving.
now,
at Brainbug, if you do hear this, what's a good like trash animal to compare this kind of?
Jesus, Eric. So I want to address Eric 311. Is this guy a real PhD/doctor or a Kent Hovind doctor? As far as I can tell, he has an actual PhD in religious studies and he has a master's in divinity.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I found a few more pages about him when I did a search, and it did mention a couple of different schools. One was a Schofield College or something, which to me is, and then he went to, I think, a more respected type seminary or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's still conservative.
I thought it was one of those like kind of ramshackle.
You see that right? Hey, you see that on the screen? That little animal there? That's what coyotes eat. Kitties. Coyotes eat kitties.
Yeah.
Yeah, they eat puppies and medium to small sized dogs too,
and children if they can get their hands on them or paws.
Or they'll use other animals to kind of be their lead person or lead critter, to lead them to more food. It's really interesting how they recruit other dogs and pets and things.
I guess saying Smokey is a coyote Christian, given that coyotes prey on children.
Well, there you go.
I can't think of a better analogy.
Oh wait, he is the president. He is the founder and president of Schofield Graduate School of Theology. But he obtained his DRE from Golden State School of Theology and his PhD from Trinity. At present, he is a PhD candidate with Trinity School of Apologetics and Theology, at least based on this bio. He is also a member of the Conservative Theological Society. He has edited numerous textbooks for Trinity School. He is the founder and president of Schofield Graduate School of Theology. Trinity School maintains close academic links with Answer Institute and strongly endorses their theological programs. Schofield and Trinity degree programs are mutually transferable.
Okay. So wait a minute. I thought he went to some ramshackle shack called Glory Hole for God seminary or something like that. But maybe I don't know what I don't think that Trinity a good divinity school.
Now, with all this talk about plasticity and everything, where did he get his neurology degree from?
The back of a book on neurology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he made it up. Okay, roll a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. I guess we still talking about his eyeballs.
It's a false accusation. Pedophilia. Remember, it was, she was 6. Oh, and now she's 13. But folks, let me tell you.
Oh, pause that for real quick. Real quick, pause that. That's a mistake. That what he's appealing to right there is the fact that a certain someone that we know was jumping on the fact that the victim was 6 because in that picture it said 6 or more. So not jump the gun on that one. It's he's fucking a 6-year-old. That goes nowhere. But go ahead. I just wanted to clarify that's where the 6-year-old age came from.
Yeah, but the 13 definitely landed with some force. So
yeah, and we knew that at the time this Josh Herbel was charged with something to do with a minor, right? Statutory rape or indecent. Well, I think it was statutory rape is what he was originally charged with.
Yeah,
according to that original info that came out over a year ago.
Yeah, I think 13 and over is statutory. So,
but what he got charged with was indecent liberties with a minor, which isn't quite statutory rape. It's a class F felony.
Okay.
Means there was touching.
There's going to be a correction. There's going to be some things coming out, folks, that are going to make you all look stupid.
Stupid.
Okay? That you do remember that the paperwork that was put out, it said that there was a 6 years difference. But now, all of a sudden, there's a younger age. You see, if you change the age range, it works both ways.
What?
So while these two individuals may have met or discussed or whatever, there was no actual sexual contact until this girl was 16.
Okay, pause that.
So there's a little bit of misinformation. No, there's actually a lot of bit of misinformation.
And the date of the offense is 2004.
Yeah.
The date of the offense is 2004, and the date puts it right before Josh Herbel's 22nd birthday. So he was 21 and she was 13. And it says right there on the paperwork, on the registration paperwork right there that you can find on North Carolina's nice little webpage, the victim's age, 13. Now, why would this be offense? Why would this be, what's the point of this? And how does he know that? How does he know there was no sex until 16? Which Knock did also ask the same question. How does he fucking know that?
Jason.
Is Jason here?
It's Jason Torn.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, Jason. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sound 5x5.
We're listening to a really interesting person.
Yeah, I was listening.
The pseudoscience is thick with this one.
Oh my God.
My brain is perfectly 50-50.
Yeah, exactly. And testosterone gives you logic and estrogen gives you emotions. And like, where the fuck did he get what? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I can't be.
And the warrior spirit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the warrior spirit.
The warrior spirit was with testosterone.
It's part of logic, I guess. I don't know.
Know what's going on. And you're running around crazy like. So let me just simply once again reiterate.
I got this guy sped up, don't I?
Yeah, 1.25. Yeah.
I have affections for a lot of people. I'm not going to write everybody off, but there are a few that are evil. Okay, Thick Shades is one. Now, once again, I love praise, but praise is mentally unstable.
You got
it
that
really,
right.
There is no way that I would tell any of my personal information. I love him, but I wouldn't trust him either as far as I could throw him because he's unstable.
Yeah.
And you all know that. Sparrow, Olive, why are you backing up somebody who is mentally unstable?
My brother? Maybe? I don't know. Well, he finally got something right anyway.
I think this is interesting. Like the message I'm getting here from Kenny is, as Christians, we shouldn't abandon Smokey just because he's a little bit of a sex pest, but maybe we ought to stay away from praise because praise be crazy.
Praise be crazy, right?
It's like, okay, so patience and tolerance and long suffering with the sex pest, crazies get wrecked.
There
cool.
you go.
Very woke, Kenny. Very woke.
Well, I'm pretty sure the testosterone side of his brain led him to that, right?
Yeah. It was all that. Yeah. Well, I made that decision on the right side of my brain.
Sorry, I'm just laughing right now. This is so stupid. This shit. Yeah. He's on here all serious and shit talking about, and I'm just when I first heard this, I'm just sitting here. It's late at night. I got the headset on so my wife can't hear this shit because she deals with enough stupid when she's at work, and I'm just sitting here listening to this. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just laughing.
Oh shit! Oh my god! I don't know where you guys find these people. We're
late to this party.
Yeah.
And I don't even know the full diagnosis, but I can tell you what. Praise is not a quote-unquote normal individual. Neither am I. But I am far more functional than he is.
Yeah, right.
That's the discernment that the Lord gives me. And I know you all love him.
50-50.
I do too. Because I know the struggle.
Evidence of his functionality is that he drove across country with a sex pest like a serial killer in a movie. Yeah, he's a lot more functional.
The only thing that would make that worse is if he was wearing an adult diaper while he went.
Worse or better?
No. What would be worse is if there was a girl's head. They were wearing some girl's head as a hat.
That would be worse, yes.
Oh, shit. I'm thinking Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas with a different twist. I don't know.
Can I ask
Fear and Loathing 2, starring Kevin Spacey. But now,
I'm gonna mute. Go ahead.
Can you hear
Jason.
me? Yeah. Okay. My question is, I know Smokey. Supposedly, there's like this video of him on Jesse Lee Peterson. Has he admitted that that's himself?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's still running with the old story that he leaked that to Nicholas Whitmire and lied about that being him so that Nicholas would pass that on to Knock, and then Knock would hang on to that and then would not have the self-control but to attempt to
dox him.
To dox him later, and this would be that five-dimensional chess that Smokey plays. And it's like, I don't think that works, pal.
The voices are like identical. I mean,
it's him.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, but the problem is that he also there was a lady on that he was going after a week back, and he also leaked it to her supposedly to make her feel better when she was suicidal. Did you hear about that?
I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, so she came out and said that.
Oh, Mary Titus.
Who?
Mary Titus.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard of her. Yeah.
Yeah, so supposedly he told her in private conversations, he admitted to it, but he did it just to make her feel better because she was suicidal. So now there's two stories about his private conversations that don't match up. That doesn't match up with five-dimensional chess too well. So I don't know.
Yeah, but, and it looks terrible, right? Because it's like, Whitmire is like, wait a minute, so what's the deal here? You told me, like, you gave that to me knowing that was me and knowing that was you, and that eventually Knock would see it and then he would try to like come after you, or you told me that was you, and that was a lie, so that I would pass that misinformation on to Rage. Yeah, no, that's how it worked. Like, and then he was angry that Nicholas Whitmire was upset with him. Like, dude, your cover story is that you used him. Like, what the fuck? You catfished him to catfish Knock, and like by proxy. Like, what did you think he was going to be extra blown away by your generosity and cleverness? Like, get fucked. That guy's nuts.
Go ahead and play more. Well, unless Randolph wanted to chime in, but there's still a little bit more maybe it's just because I get really bored, but there's just something about this guy. Maybe it's because I'm watching too many, British shows where the humor is slightly off from American humor, but this guy just makes me laugh.
I'm still
Yeah, so-
laughing about the part where they said praise is unstable.
Hold on. I mean, is he wrong though?
No, I know
None of us-
I know
everybody's
he's not wrong, but it's
Nobody here is disagreeing at all with that
just,
statement.
I know.
Hey,
Which
got
makes it
20
all the more
minutes
funny.
we have 20 minutes before Grr Stream goes live and sucks the air out of
Grr.
YouTube.
Oh, screw Grr. Fuck you, Grr. Nobody likes you.
Grr
I'm kidding.
told
I love you, Grr.
Grr threatened me. He threatened me if I did a stream. No, I'm just kidding.
Do we want to go to the Danny stuff?
Oh no, we're not going to talk about Danny. Fuck him.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Well,
Jason
Danny's
was
a
in on
weenie.
that. So
I like
Da-
Danny.
Danny's
I
a-
like talking.
Danny's
I don't have a
weenie.
problem with Danny. Only that's
And
the
he
thing
doesn't-
is
Danny's
that's-
not a weenie.
He doesn't know shit about natural selection. So there you go.
Danny's
Well, that
not a
much is
weenie.
obvious.
Danny's one of my
Weenie.
favorite people on the internet. I don't care.
Oh,
he
wow.
says.
What about me?
I
What
love
about,
Danny.
what about me, Jason?
I love
Oh
Danny.
my god.
Yeah,
Hey, hey,
albino
right here,
over there.
Jason.
Midnight.
I like that
Midnight.
played off great.
Not albino, that's all.
Midnight. Don't be needy. He said one of his favorite. Don't push it.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the other one. So, anyway.
All I heard was
This-
I heard Midnight ask, "What about me?" and then I heard Jason answer, "I love Danny." Like, I guess that's your answer, Midnight.
yeah, pretty clear, pretty established.
I'm laughing too much for it to go. Oh, well.
Okay,
That made me
rolling,
laugh.
guys. Let's roll.
Oh, this isn't. Well, hold on.
Some sort of
Dessel Dre
title
says, "When the
now.
weather report becomes one life to live soap drama." Yes, but we're sitting back laughing at it. This is better than Sands Through the Hourglass. This is the train wreck that won't ever stop.
Oh shit. Okay, roll.
See, Smokey and Kenny, that's dishonest, ladies. So I'm going to forgive this one time,
Just this one.
and I'm going to ask you, ladies, to
Supposed
pray.
to forgive 7 times 77. Supposed to
You have
forgive
to do
7
And
times
then also
77.
fully know if the Holy Spirit is leading those that claim the Holy Spirit is leading.
What?
Once again, the line's been drawn. I serve the Lord. I'm telling you right now, Smokey Saint is an asshole, but he's God's asshole. And he's been pedophilia.
That's not helpful.
That's not a
You gotta
good
clip that.
mental image.
Okay. You have to clip that. Smokey Saint is an asshole, but he's God's asshole.
That is a great
No,
nickname.
wait.
Yeah,
Does
that's
that
a
mean
great line.
Smokey's full of shit?
Yeah, that should
Yeah.
be clipped. That needs to be clipped and replayed.
Oh, that
I'm
means
sorry,
you-
but that's
Oh,
just
that-
the implication of that.
I
fucking
kick
brilliant.
ass for the
should
Lord.
change his channel name to that just to make sure everybody understands what he is and who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
God,
God's
Smokey
asshole.
Smokey Saint, God's asshole. Quote, Dr. Kenny Rhodes.
Well,
Poop's
And
got to
that's from
pass.
his ally.
Yeah.
Poop's got to go
He-
through somewhere. Might as well go through Smokey.
so God, you know, he is a deuterostome, so God came first. The asshole comes first, right? Deuterostome.
By misinformation put out there by Ryan the Presbyterian and Thick Shades. Why do I have to point out to you all that once the
I
messenger
would like
has
to. Can you pause that for a second?
Yeah.
No.
We're never going to get through this, Jay.
Yeah, no. Ryan the Presbyterian, the stuff that happened with the stuff that Knox started putting out came from praise. Praise got it from Ryan the Presbyterian. Thick Shades was actually later on.
Yeah.
I gotta say, you know, at first I read this as Knights of Sin. I see it's kin.
Yeah, Knights of Ken. Yeah, Knights of Kylo. Yeah, he goes by Kylo Ken.
Yeah,
You
that's
know-
not that. That's the American K. It's not the Canadian K. That's pronounced S. So
I think
yeah,
Sin
the
would be a
cultural
better,
thing is,
better name.
you know, needs to be clarified.
I do think Knights of Sin would be a better name now.
It's much cooler. Knights of
We are the
Ken.
knights
That's kind
that go sin.
But I think it's
Roll.
funny is that he couldn't do that in such a way to make it his own. He still had to keep the Star Wars underneath
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just think it's interesting that he. Yeah, I mean, aren't the Knights of the Knights of Ren? aren't they kind of Sith?
Yeah, this just makes me really.
They're the
It's
dark
really
side of the Force.
Fifth based.
impressive the amount of narcissism, delusional thinking that comes along with
Pseudoscience.
all this religion, especially the thing about the Abrahamic religions or Judaism and Christianity, and is there's that dynamic of being called especially to do something for God, and that just seems to be eating people's brains alive.
This stuff just makes me laugh. That's all it does to me.
It's amazing.
Well, it is funny, but this is happening to real people. People
It's
who
also
could be
interesting.
making sense, and
That's what makes it funnier.
Yeah, it's also interesting how much stock they put in testosterone as being the thing that makes you be able to reason, entirely. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, you can see why they're why they are the way they are. I mean, we know how.
I could go back and cite something from Sapolsky, but I'm not going to prolong it because he's not even, like I said, I'm only like 150 pages into that 700 and plus page book, so I'm not even going to sit here and even pretend. But testosterone doesn't work that way.
Well, these guys probably think that testosterone and estrogen is red pill, blue pill. I bet that's about as complicated as they take it.
Seems to be.
Yeah.
So is that Robert Sapolsky?
Behave, from that book, Behave.
Oh, from the book Behave. So,
yeah, I've mentioned it before. Yeah, I'm still chewing on that thing. Jesus.
So he's the one that's promoting this bullshit?
No. If you read his book, I could cite something from that basically debunks what Kenny's saying about testosterone and estrogen. Yeah, he's got it completely wrong.
So would you recommend reading that book, or do you think it'd be okay on audiobook?
Like I said, I'm doing both audio and reading it, so that's the immersion reading. But you could probably do it audio. Behave.
Right. Yeah. I still need to get around to reading that.
Yep.
I thought you were going to be like, yeah, I understand you want me to correct my behavior. What's the name of the book again?
Well, I should have done that, but I heard the name of the book before, so.
I said it's Behave. What's? Stop telling me that.
Testosterone and estrogen has absolutely fucking zero to do with how your neurons behave in your cortex and how your brain works. Zero. I mean, not at all.
Yeah, and the other thing too, like neuroplasticity, the brain's. I mean, you're more plastic when you're younger, but your neuroplasticity is still kind of a factor for your brain. But the older you get, it's less of one. This idea that he was pharmaceutically denied testosterone for a decade, and that fundamentally altered his brain. It's like, I don't even know
if that's what he's referring to, but that's
what he's saying. That's what he means by that. He's trying to say, that's what he was trying to say at the beginning. I was cooking. I did want to.
He's a medical miracle.
No, he's just trying to say because he was denied that changed his brain because of neuroplasticity. His brain is fundamentally different now because of that experience. And I'm like, I don't think so. Now there might be, but if he's invoking neuroplasticity and saying that because of that experience his brain went one way, that neuroplasticity then entails that it might bounce back once the hormone situation is corrected. So this idea that he was a prophet before, but now he's a prophet with a perfectly balanced brain, as he said it. Like I don't even
know what is he.
He's even operating on an outdated notion of right brain, left brain.
Yeah,
that's not a thing in neuroscience anymore.
Fucked.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah, that only affects it. That does affect your speech centers somewhat as far as emotive speech.
This is why I continue to look into this stuff.
But that's about it. Anyway, okay.
How did he have low testosterone? Like, what? Or did he have low testosterone? Or
he lived discussing that. Zero testosterone.
He said he lived 10 years with zero testosterone.
I don't even know what that means.
Can you even function with zero testosterone? I mean, I know there are people who have really low. really
Yeah, I
low
don't-
testosterone.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I
think
don't-
it's possible. I think
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where you got bio because women have testosterone. They just have
Yeah, exactly.
lower levels
Yeah.
than men. He's saying I had no testosterone. I'm like, no, you didn't.
But
Hey,
wait,
guys.
okay.
Hey, guys, I have to step away for a minute. I'm going to leave you on your own.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
But you're the
different
only
types-
voice of reason
are there-
here, Speed.
well,
Are Are there different types of testosterone? I know there are different types of proteins.
I mean, I don't know, but I was going to ask, doesn't testosterone kind of make you more willing to take chances? Like it makes you
actually
more.
It actually is better for building cooperation amongst people.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
this is
thinking about you're thinking about enlarged testicles, so that causes people to take
No,
more chances.
I was thinking more the testosterone.
He's talking about irritability. Well, my balls are hurting. I'm angry.
Looks like we lost Brain Bug.
I should really get a T test one of these days.
Yeah, I'm not going to dive down. There's different types of. The only thing I can find on types of testosterone are the types of testosterone treatments you can take for low testosterone. Now I'm going to start getting advertisements for that shit.
So there's only one testosterone, but there's different. There's obviously different endocrine, chemicals, but testosterone.
Yeah. Either way,
is one of them.
Yeah, either way, it's just the claim that it's just ridiculous to say I lived for 10 years with zero testosterone.
I mean,
and his whole left brain, right brain thing, that's just completely inadequate.
I just
Like-
think
It's like those breatharians who live without eating or drinking anything, right?
I don't.
like there are certainly people that need to take hormones for like low testosterone, etc. But the reality is like you want to not do that if at all possible, because as soon as you start taking it, your body stops producing testosterone. Like it's like if you start taking it, then I think you pretty much have to take it continuously. You can't just stop taking it. It'll wreck your body.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, if you want to produce testosterone, lift weights, go work out, even meditation raises testosterone for fuck's sake.
And like for those who weren't here that didn't hear it, he said in the video that he was this was due to pharmaceuticals that he had been taking. Pharmaceuticals had wrecked that.
wow.
Had contributed to that condition.
But okay.
Or caused that condition.
What does all this have to do with with him defending Smokey right here? Is he blaming low testosterone for for what he's doing?
No,
like,
he thinks that because of his unique experience, he's got a special kind of brain that provides him an extra insight, which allows him to unapologetically defend Smokey Speed. I don't know.
Jeff,
I don't know.
In the context of what he's talking about, he's responding to two females in his live chat. He's handling them with his stellar intellect that I know what you're feeling because I felt this for 10 years when I had zero testosterone.
In other words, mansplaining.
Olive Sparrow that he's talking about. So
now he doesn't have to mansplain. He can remember because of his neuroplasticity and zero testosterone days. Now he can go, I can switch on my lady side and now I can relate to you.
That is insane.
I don't think that's
it's ridiculous.
Wow, I don't even.
Basically, he can understand why that bitch made Adam or ate that apple or whatever. I think.
Yeah, it's called having empathy. You don't need to have spent 10 years on zero T to have empathy. I don't understand what the fuck he's saying.
Well, he does. I think he should go another 20 years and take empathy 101 all over again.
Well, it takes shutting your mouth and listening to people to develop empathy. That's kind of all it takes. And growth. You have to have personal growth. I don't know how you force that or encourage it. But, I wish I knew when I was 20 some of the things I've learned. The hard way now.
I read somewhere that reading can help boost empathy, but that might be something that might be fringe.
Yeah, it's understanding things. Listening and understanding, stretching your brain. So you
Yeah,
want to roll more with it?
Yeah, I think there might be some more humor to this. I think there might be some more humor, especially when he says that he can shoot a tick off a deer's back at 300 yards.
Yeah, well, for humor and empathy, I guess they'd need more D's and C in their vitamin makeup.
Is that the warrior part of the testosterone that
That's
allows
his finely tuned body.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to.
The message is discredited.
Oh, go back a little bit.
For that reason.
What now?
Go back a little bit. He said that's something we didn't. Go ahead and play. I think he said something.
Thick shades. Why do I have to point out to you all that once the messenger has been discredited,
right there,
the message is discredited?
That's completely false.
For that reason alone.
Yeah.
That's appealing to an ad hoc.
Very strange.
If I attack you, then that renders any claims that you make false.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
So apparently, no matter what, his when he got his divinity degree, they don't teach critical thinking skills even there. So,
I think it's a distance learning.
because good job. That's fucking funny, Jay.
You can develop critical skills, but only if you have, like, if you happen to take philosophy of religion with a professor that will teach that to you
properly.
Say what?
Teach it properly, you mean?
Yeah, teach it properly because
okay.
I went through an MDiv program. I graduated, and I still came out fundamentalist and all that. It took quite a few years for me to become critical enough and just ask questions. I am really jealous of people who, like, in high school or early college, were able to just sift through the bullshit and ask. And it's a matter, I guess, of bravery. Maybe I needed more testosterone so I could ask the questions that were on my brain instead of just kind of holding back and waiting for the right answer to appear, eventually.
I have noticed there's a lot of theologians and theocrat types involved and enthusiastic about philosophy of religion. And then there's a few quacks who seem to think that philosophy of religion dictates the way things are in all of philosophy, which is obviously wrong as well.
Well, there's one fellow who a few years ago when I was deconstructing, he had a PhD. He was a professor of philosophy of religion. He says, this does not need to exist as a category of academia. It just needs to be philosophy.
I probably know that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
philosophy is awesome.
The thing about critical thinking with Christians is what they come up with as a result has to be somehow paraphrased in the Bible. The only way the only conclusion they ever come to, young Earth creationists or whatever, is that it matches some interpretation that they've gotten from the Bible. Otherwise, they can't think. It has to match that, right?
Yeah, and you see, that's the thing I notice is there's a lot of Christians involved in it. They don't address the other religions, or they just kind of wipe them out. And the philosophy of religion should really be called, in many cases, philosophy of Christianity, which should be an oxymoron because there's not a whole lot of philosophy in Christianity, it seems. It's more authoritarian than anything.
A lot of mythicism. So
yeah, mythicism and authoritarianism.
Oh, that's right. Isn't it some kind of special Christian day today?
Good. Adequate Friday.
You're looking for you're trying to put an Easter egg in your stream, aren't you?
Okay, so what happened today? Did Jesus get nailed onto the cross? Did he die today?
Nailed under the cross. Okay, wow.
Okay, when did they nail him under the cross?
Or did you mean nailed while on the cross, or is that too triple X for this?
Jesus Christ!
You guys, can we stop trafficking in that? Because my stupid cartoon brain has basically created this religious painting that looks like a Whitesnake video from the mid-'80s, and it's hardcore porn with some... God, thanks.
Well, if you want some new imagery, there is an adult section in my meme collection.
God.
Yeah, whatever
remember-
you do not stimulate Jefferson's imagination.
Don't. Yeah,
No.
don't do it.
But I'm serious, guys. I'm asking serious theological questions.
No, it is.
Today the day that he died, or the day that he got nailed?
He died.
Saturday he died on a Friday.
On a Friday.
Jesus
Okay, so Good Friday.
Christ, Lord.
So he got nailed like what, 2 days before? Like,
And then he got resurrected, so
Jesus
he lost a
Christ,
week
born
before
on
your
a
sin.
Monday.
That's
So he got-
Solomon
then he-
Grundy.
Then he got resurrected a few
I know.
days later. So he's
Yeah, I thought it was-
he lost a weekend. He lost a weekend for everybody's sins.
Okay, but Saturday and Sunday, that's only 2 days. I thought he was in the tomb for 3 days. Did
It
he pop
depends.
out on Sunday or
Okay,
Monday?
okay.
Some
The way
time
you
zones, right?
describe it is any part of a day counts as a full day somehow. So he was dead on Friday, dead all day
Oh.
Saturday, dead part of Sunday.
Okay.
It's totally
so-
inclusive. So it's
He rose
Yeah.
on the third.
Okay, I've got some more imagery for Jefferson here. So you could say he straddled 3 days.
God
Well,
damn.
I was just thinking, like, if he popped out of the ground on the third on a Monday and he's walking around showing people the wounds in his hands, he's like, "I was nailed to a cross for your sins." Grr Mondays, am I right?
Fuck, no. You know what you guys did here? You know what you did here? I've been trying to reconcile with Sal Cordova, and this last 5 minutes just ensured that that's never going to happen.
Clip
You
it
gotta
out.
go and ask him if he can drink before watching it.
Clip it out.
Hey, Speed.
Yeah.
Speed. Glad we could help.
Yeah, you held. Yeah, fuck me.
Hi,
up.
Sal. In case you're watching this later or
Yeah.
now.
I think the last one was when
I don't
Amy
give a
Newman,
fuck.
Amy Newman came on and said something about she would like worship Satan or something. She found out that theism was true. I don't know. And Sal has quit me for like a year and a half because of that. He's gonna quit. This is definitely gonna last for 6 fucking years.
because we were worshiping the
7 years.
devil.
7-year curse.
We're not laughing at him. Come on.
No, because we were making fun of Jesus, and he don't like that.
Oh, he should be able to get over that.
No,
the
he
fact-
can't. He can't get over it with me.
So he wouldn't like the innkeeper joke. Jesus walks into the inn and gives the innkeeper 3 nails and says, "Can you put me up for the night?"
Here's my thing.
Christ, they don't like it when we make fun of Jesus.
If a bunch of if Jesus can't take being insulted by a bunch of Americans was executed by the Roman Empire.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, he's grown a thinner skin over time. So.
he is quite old.
Yeah, well,
You call that growing?
he's quite rotten too. I mean, when you think about it,
Sounds more like stretching to me.
There's an echo. The echo is
if
killer.
you're hanging from nails, you tend to stretch a little bit.
Guys, this thing is tripping. This is tripping me out. There is a fucking echo.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh shit, it's me.
Yes.
That means
And
I
I'm
gotta
on-
leave. I gotta leave.
And I'm
and
on,
come back.
I'm on
I'll be
vitamins
back.
and it's tripping me out.
I'll be back. Oh, I hate.
Hey, look at me.
Hey,
everybody.
you're the new star of the show.
Hey,
Ta-da.
Looks like we
Hello,
hit a
baby.
bullseye.
Hello, my
Magenta
baby.
bullseye.
Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragum gal.
That spiral. That spiral is a
Hello,
problematic image.
Jay, hello.
Jay is in control of your television.
So, Jason, what are you doing over there?
I'm on my phone. I was looking on my phone.
Oh,
I
no,
was checking my email.
What the hell?
Well, guys,
We're in
I'm gonna get out of here a little bit early. My headset's about to die, so.
Yeah, we got.
Jefferson,
All
look
right,
forward
go
to seeing you on Sunday.
Go do your own stream, Jeff.
Yeah,
That's what you're really leaving for.
No,
Hey, Jeff.
I'm probably gonna do one in the morning.
Looking
Okay.
forward to seeing you on Sunday. Hopefully, we'll have a good show for Easter.
Yeah, I might be able to join up. I'm not sure. I've got an extended weekend, so I'm going to be out visiting relatives. But if I can, I will stop by for a little bit.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah,
All right.
it's always good to hear your feedback in these.
Those rooms are crazy. Okay,
Oh.
I'll see you guys later. Thanks again, Speed, for the link. See you later.
Take care.
Yep. So,
Bye, Jeff.
I'll timestamp this thing a little bit and maybe we'll go over it another day if I find some goodies.
Yeah,
But,
you might find some interesting. Like I said, I don't know what it is, but it's just some of this cringe. It's like I haven't reviewed any of it. I haven't done any content on it whatsoever. I'll watch a little bit of it and then it just kind of sucks me in. I'm just like, this is fucking just stupid hilarious.
So forgive my cluelessness, but this Kylo Ken is Kenny Rhodes?
Yes. Dr. Ken Rhodes.
Oh my God. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, so in deference to Grr streams, who nobody should ever watch, and everybody should
StreamYard poison.
Yeah, StreamYard poison. I think we should shoot her in the head for the day, and let Grr has a show starting. I think 5 minutes ago.
No, it started already.
Yeah, but the thing is he's not letting anybody in. Nobody's going to be able to go there and talk because it's
exactly.
all about him. It's all about him over there. I mean, what kind of person spends an hour and a half doing his own fucking monologue? I don't know of any person that does that.
Right. You don't know, do you, Jay?
You're fucking crazy, man. You're fucking crazy.
Let people in.
Fucking gaslighter.
So, Jason, do you want to talk about natural selection again? Someday?
Yeah.
Someday soon?
Yeah, like in what capacity? Like
well, there's a whole lot of there are some interesting things that I've come across. One is Neanderthal DNA, and there's that, and then there's the discussion of what Danny was saying again on his stream and what the other people were saying the other when he did his 1,000 sub thing. I was thinking about going over that a little bit and kind of clarifying some of that stuff, and I'm of the opinion, which has grown since I had the controversy with Danny, that natural selection is the cornerstone of the theory of evolution, the absolute cornerstone, bedrock of evolution. And that's so I have a very different opinion than Fodor. So.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that as possible content. Was doing. I'm sorry, Jason. You were going to answer his question. I'm sorry.
No,
I can wait. Go ahead.
No, I mean, the only thing I was going to say is that I'm not sure Danny or others would disagree with you. I just think that there's a question as to, like from their perspective, what natural selection is actually selecting for, and so that's that whole issue of like the heart beating or the pumping of the blood, that it's impossible to discern what the selection is for. But I would agree with you that natural selection as a process is the driving force behind evolution. But
there's a little more to it than that, and I'd like to get into it. Maybe we'll do something this weekend if you're free, and we'll discuss it. Because there's a little more to it than that. And
one book related to that, I wanted to just kind of, I've been asking for years about a version of Origin of Species that has comments or notations to it that are updated so that I don't learn incomplete or outdated information. There's a book called Almost Like a Whale, The Origin of Species, updated. That I'm going to be reading this weekend, and I'm going to underline everything about natural selection that I find in that book, just to maybe be relevant. But I would recommend that book to anybody who's never really read Origin of Species, and but wants to know the more updated information about evolution. So that way you understand the outline of what Darwin was doing, but it's replaced as much of outdated information with updates by Stephen Jones.
The stuff I read so far in this book by Steve Jones, he doesn't miss anything. So, but the thing about now, if Fodor had came down and said he was basically writing a critique of how the public or the average person talks about natural selection, then everybody would say, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But now he seems to be coming after biologists. And that's why he ends up getting in hot water all the time, because biologists are like, duh, we knew that. And That's not how we talk about it. And like, so what it amounts to is a gigantic fucking straw man. But there are new nuances that we'll talk about. And I think one of the nuances is the order that you come up with your hypothetical and your explanation for something that happened in biological history. But we don't have time right now because Grr Streams is on, man. Everybody got to run to into that.
Real quick, is that book good for lay people? And I'm approaching 400. Okay, I'm also approaching 420 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So on April 20th, which is Wednesday, I'm thinking of bringing Neil, the 604 Atheist, on to tell us a few things about marijuana.
Ooh, cool. Okay,
I do a live stream and have people join in.
This is from 1999. So
okay,
but 22 years
we've
done
a
lot, but a lot was already done in the 80s and the 90s in genetics that is just now filtering into the public. So
wow.
So I recommend the book, and he's a pretty easy read. So, but the problem is I don't have time for that level of book because I'm working on other kinds of things. I'm going to try to listen to it. So
what's the book again?
It's called Almost Like a Whale. And there it is. You can
by Steve Jones.
Yep,
by Steve Jones. Yeah, and it's pretty good. So, anyway, let's end her for the day, guys.
I put Grr Mania's YouTube address into the public chat. So
yeah, just so that everybody knows where not to go. Right. That's why we. Yeah, it's also in my description.
He's gonna get you back for that one of these days.
With a warning.
If he hasn't already.
Okay, boys and girls, we're ending for the day. So goodbye, cruel world. Okay. Y'all.